The reality is a school like Brown or Penn or Stanford, they get so many applications that look just like Sherry or just like Trevor, with great profiles, great numbers, great potential. The tough truth, though, here is that there's no shortcuts to having a standout application. The tough truth is you have to start early. You have to be thoughtful. You have to be intentional. You have to get some good advice. So that could be from friends, could be from your teachers, your counselors. Of course, the Kyros platform offers some great advice and tools and tips as well. It's doing some reflecting, so thinking about what is your unique story or angle in this process. So how do you jump out? How do you jump to the top there? So our conversation today is really going to be centered around these 4 themes. So starting with the top left, number 1, we're talking about crafting your story. So being intentional about how all the different pieces of the application fit together. I often think of it as like a puzzle. So one piece might be great, another piece maybe slightly less great, but what matters is the bigger picture. How do those things connect and fit together to tell the story that you're trying to land with the admissions offices? Number 2 is being specific. Many students kind of err toward being a little, playing it safe, maybe we can call it that, right? So sticking to topics or themes they think the universities want to hear, or feeling like they can only talk about specific activities that are very popular or well known. All of you go to different high schools, you're from different towns and communities. You might have different life experiences or family dynamics. And these are all things you can really talk about and lean into in the application process to make yours be a little bit more specific to you. Number 3, we'll talk about writing authentically. So embracing your own style. Not everyone's a funny writer. Not everyone's a serious analytical writer. Not everyone's a poet, but it's figuring out what style works best for you. Because so much of this process is how you are communicating what you've done, what you're interested in, and where you're going. So it's really about your writing that comes through in so many pieces of the application. And then finally, we'll talk about nurturing relationships. So, of course, the part of the application you don't get to see is those letters of recommendation from teachers and counselors. Some of you may ask coaches or mentors to write them. And so how do you kind of think through those letters of recommendation? And that's what LOR stands for, by the way, to make sure that you are investing in those discussions and relationships so that your teachers and counselors are helping you put your best foot forward to really stand out. So we'll dig into that. I know it's a lot of details, so let's take it one by one here. So we're going to talk about crafting your story as the first piece. So when I say story, I really mean not just the essays. The essays, of course, are very important, but we're thinking bigger. We're thinking the whole application.